What up, dude?
Yo.
So we tried getting a hold of Goofball, but he's probably having family night or something. So it'll just be us tonight. Sorry for the late notice, Ian, but we did try calling you. So what we're gonna do? We just wanted to get a quick video out. I'm going to discuss my matchup with SEAL Team Six, aka Dylan, who's in Hawaii. Hope you guys are having a great time, Dylan.
Have fun.
Um, yeah, hope you're having a good time. Have a nice Jack and Coke or something for me, okay? And then Landon is going to go over his and Big Bald Beavers matchup, also known as Mark. Okay, so you ready for this?
I'm ready.
We will start with we're going to start with the big one. It's already taken. I mean, Jason and Butt Fumble, or Jason and Oscar. Jason started off Thursday night with a abundance of points, and he's probably on his way to high score of the week. Um, but yeah, Joe Flacco with 46.65, Jamar Chase 52.1, Chase Brown low scoring of 23.75, but then Jalen Warren with 36.8. What are your thoughts on this matchup? Comment on the wake up of the Bengals offense first of all.
I mean, Flacco. Flacco's doing exactly what he needs to do. Just those dump off passes. That's gonna be good for everyone because once you go with continuous amount of dump off passes, it's gonna open up the deep threat, which is good for T Higgins. Jamar Chase, obviously 16 catches, only 161 yards on 16 catches. Yes, that's. I feel like it's good, but at the same time, I feel like that's what I would expect him to do with 16 catches. But if he can average 10 plus catches a game, he's gonna be back in the wide receiver five conversations. I do want to first off start by saying I do apologize, Jason. I will publicly apologize. I still think that Bijan was the best player in the trade. I still think BTJ got sold for really nothing, but I was hating on him a little bit too hard. So Jason, I do apologize for hating on you, and I want to publicly apologize because of the fact that your boys that you traded for are performing.
Good job, Jason. I did not want to give up Chase, but I wanted Bijan in that deal, and I kind of felt yes, Chase at the time it was a name. Scadaboo was starting off, he was playing hot, but he definitely wasn't Bijan hot. So I needed to add something to it. Brock Bowers and Terry or Scary Terry, unfortunately, he has not been able to use either of those yet. Terry is out this week. Bowers is doubtful, which will probably mean he's not going to play. But Jason has Kittle coming back. I think if Chase can continue doing this, not 52 points that's not going to happen. If it does, well, then might as well just hand Jason the trophy. But Flacco dumping off, like you said, letting the receivers do the run after the catch. His team has definitely improved. If he wins this week and Nate, I think it's Nate, yeah. And if Nate loses, Jason would jump into a playoff spot, not competing for a playoff spot, but he would be alive in the playoffs. Um, yeah, it's just your team's getting healthy. People are coming back. Chris Olave looks like the receiver from a few years ago, so your team looks strong. Um, Oscar's team, Jackson Dart versus Denver. What do you think he's going to do?
I think he's going to need to get at least one rushing touchdown to be able to put up 25 points.
Yeah, the receiver, they just don't have any receivers. Unfortunately, George Pickens, I think, is going to take a little bit of a drop off. May not be this week. They might be bringing Lamb back to kind of pull some coverage away from Pickens. but wait and see. He had no designation on the injury report for the week. Keenan Allen and Ladd McConkey seem to be, well, Keenan really never fell asleep, but Ladd's kind of waking up. And Johnston is kind of, I don't know, he seems like he's dropping off. He had a bad game, but he's also, it does not feel like with the offensive line, they haven't really had time to go deep. Now, Alt did practice. I believe he's questionable for the game, which means he probably will be. Yeah, he's limited. He was limited all week. I think he will, if he doesn't come back this week, he could possibly come back next week.
Yeah, that'd be huge.
Yes, it would. David Montgomery, did you hear that their coach said they wanted to get David Montgomery more involved?
Yeah, it's going to be more. Yeah. I mean, I still don't like Ian's trade because I think name-wise he could have got more for Gibbs, but I do think it's a good time to sell Gibbs.
See, I don't know if let's kind of look at this real quick. David Montgomery, so he's averaging
He had one big blow-up game.
Yeah, he had one big one, and then he had another one at 29. Everything was 19 or less. So, okay, he had 11 attempts. He's averaging first 3 games 11 and a half carries a game, then went 9, then 18, then 4. I don't know if getting him more involved means more consistently right around the 10 touches or if it just means a 50-50 split. Either way, Tampa Bay is tough to run against, and it's Monday night. Baker's been playing out of his mind, but Baker has been Ibuka is questionable, but he's a game-time decision. Godwin's out. And what's his face? Mike Evans is returning. So Cade Otton might have a big game, but I believe the running backs, I think you're going to see a little more Tucker in this game, but you will see White obviously controlling the touches, but I think you'll see more of Tucker in the game due to the fact that I think they're going to want to slow down the game and control the possession. Baker will take his shots. Baker will be Baker. You still have some other guys, the 2 Johnson & Johnsons, and then Sterling Shepard. Is it Sterling Shepard?
Yeah.
It just seems weird saying that because it seems like he's been in the league forever.
Yeah, him and Tyler Boyd.
What do you think of the matchup between Bucks and Lions? Do you think they're going to get it to be a control the possession, and how do you think it's going to go?
I think it could really be a shootout, to be honest. Chiefs went over there and just blew out the Lions. I don't think... I hate to say it. I do think that the Chiefs are back to being a very good team, which is just annoying. So I don't think Tampa Bay's defense is going to be as good as the Chiefs. So I think it's just going to be a shootout because, I mean, Seattle put up 31 against the Bucks. And I feel like with how many weapons the Chiefs have, I believe they put up the same thing. And then now you're looking at the Lions. They probably have the most amount of weapons out of all 3 teams that were just mentioned. So I think it could be the highest scoring game of the week.
Okay, so I think you might be right. Just looking, 3 defensive backs are going to be out. 3 starters for the Lions. Wow. So, yeah. So take it for what it's worth of what I just said about the running game in the Tampa-Detroit game for Tampa. And, you know, he's Oscar's got Cade Otton also. So he's got 2 guys on Monday night in that game. So that should be a fun matchup for him. We talked about the points that Jason received. DK Metcalf ended up with 9 points, projected at 18.5, basically, got 9 points.
43 yards at halftime. 39 yards in the first drive.
And yeah, it looked like he was going to have a big game, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So looking at Oscar's got Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen, so he's got the tag team with that. Chicago defense versus New Orleans. Who knows which defense will show up? That could be a shootout. Rattler has been throwing. He's been, like we talked about with Olave. So you've got if Olave has a good game, that's going to hurt Chicago's defense, which Oscar has. Let's go back over. We just went. Well, then he's also got Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs. It's being reported just now as we're recording. Stomach illness. He is expected to play, so he's safe there. J.K. Dobbins, Daniel Jones, Kansas City defense versus Vegas. Daniel Jones versus the Chargers. So Daniel Jones versus Herbert. That game will be going back and forth. Those two will be scoring points up against each other. And then J.K. Dobbins with the Dallas Giants game. Anything else you want to say on this matchup?
I feel like Jordan Mason hasn't been that good, but Vegas has his over under at I believe 69.5 rushing yards, which I think he has only hit once. So they're expecting him to have a crazy bounce back game.
Philly's run defense has not looked good, especially when Jalen Carter is out, like we saw against the Giants. Scadaboo went off against them, but let's see if Jalen Carter is back. And if he is, let's see what that does for the Jordan Mason effect. Carson Wentz is starting that game, so he's not afraid to throw. We've seen him throwing to Justin Jefferson. Hopefully, Addison gets the start. Didn't in London on their last game due to the fact that I guess he went sightseeing alone. So don't have to worry about that in Minnesota. So hopefully he's recovered and bounced back from his extracurricular activities.
Yes.
And I'm going to go with, I think Jason wins this game.
I would agree. And if he doesn't,
Okay.
it's going to be the same thing as last week where he's number 2 point scorer and going up against the number 1.
Yeah, no one really stands out on Butt Fumble's team as someone that's going to just pop. It would have been Pickens last week, or if we're correct in what I said about Lamb, kind of going out there, getting his feet wet again, and being kind of a wide receiver to Pickens this week only, because that should be a shootout game.
Agreed.
Okay. Next matchup is Rob and Sean. This one is, well, I'll let you start off and talk about this one.
Rob and let me pull it up real quick.
So Rob and Sean, I believe, might be the lowest. Tell me when you're ready. Rob and Sean might be the lowest projected scoring. Sean with the projection to win by 54% to 46%, 187 to 180. You ready?
Yep. Got him.
Okay, go ahead.
Perfect. I mean, Sean, last place, he's seeking a win. He needs one. CD coming back is huge. I know you've been mentioning that they might try to rack CD's, may not give him 100% snap count like he's used to, but he did come out. He said that last week he felt like he could play throughout the whole entire game, but he just wanted to give it one more week to be able to be at that 100%. So I don't know if there's going to be a snap count. If it is, I still see him upper 85%, which is pretty much probably running all the routes besides the ones where they have design run plays. So CD coming back for him is huge. TreVeyon Henderson, I am not a fan of as well as Mike Vrabel, unfortunately. Tyler Warren, I do like. I honestly tried to trade for Tyler Warren this week. Obviously, didn't work. JMO, he needs to have a blow up game at some point for Sean to be able to finally reach that next level of points scored. Shaheed, he just has a ton of boom or bust players, and unfortunately, no Diddy. They've just been busting. And then you got Rob at second place in the league. Team solid, like you already mentioned. Lad just had his blow up game. It was against the Dolphins. No, it wasn't. Yes, it was.
Keep talking. Okay.
It was against the Dolphins. Had 31 last week. Amon-Ra, two solid wide receivers. Jalen Hurts. Y'all may hate him, not you specifically, but people in the league, people in the media may hate Jalen Hurts. But as a fantasy quarterback, he's always going to get his points. Kamara, and Debo. But Kamara and Debo are the two that I just do not like. Unfortunately for Kamara, he's that offense hasn't even really been that bad, but their defense is not that great either. So teams are able just to run, chew the clock, and it hurts his value. Debo's in a starting lineup. That has got to get changed. I'm gonna assume. I mean, he just does not have anyone else to put in there other than Zach Ertz, but he may not play. So Blake Corum, who I thought also was okay, he's set to suit up. So he did just get the good to go. I I I genuinely
Ertz,
think Sean can take this one.
it's so yeah. Kirk. Here's another thing with the IR. At least he's got his IR filled, but how long do you hold on to Mixon? You know, sometimes you just got to cut your loss because you got to make room for because you got buys coming up. We'll get to that next after this. Ertz, I think, will play. Slide in Ertz for Debo. Addison, again, we talked about him. So I'll go back with Sean's side. So Sam Darnold going against Houston. You and I were talking earlier about this game. We need Sam to not force it to JSN this week. He's
Got Derek Stingley on him.
Yeah, he's going to be on him, and I believe he follows the guys, doesn't he?
I believe so. He can play slot too.
So you can move him around. Sam just needs to get AJ Barner involved, a little bit of Cup, and Torrey Horton. So there's a couple of guys that if you want to pick up, Rob, to fill in for Debo, because I do not believe JSN, unless JSN is matchup whatever, he's safe to go against anybody. And Tyler Warren, I think, is going to be Sean's biggest play this week. Rashid Shaheed needs to get some return punts or return yards. We talked about that matchup with on the last game. But Drake London and Michael Penix, they went off last week against the Bills. That was a primetime game. This week it's a primetime game in San Francisco. Definitely not on the turf, so it's not on the fast track, but you still have that matchup. So Sean does have a couple upside guys that can score some points. And then he's got some guys that, like Charbonnet, I wouldn't play tomorrow. If you could get him swapped out, I would swap him out. I say that, you swap him out, he'll probably go off for 100 points, but whatever. It's going to be luck if he gets it, and that means Walker was probably hurt because their coaching staff is saying that Walker has deserved more touches and he's going to get more touches. Jalen Hurts, like you said, I don't want to go over too much of what you already talked about, but Jalen Hurts, you're going to see at least one tush push. You're going to see at least one touchdown. He needs to get better with the connection downfield with A.J. Brown and Smith. Amon-Ra, he's going to get his. He's probably going to have a really big game against Tampa because, again, that's Monday night, and it's going to be a shootout, like you said. I think they're going to want to control the game. I don't know if it's going to be able to, especially with 3 DBs out for the Lions. So Amon-Ra is going to need to do something to help that defense out, and that's put up points. Kamara has slowly started to lose touches. ETN has not looked good. He didn't look good last week. He's first, I think, 4 games, he averaged over 5 yards a carry, almost 6. And now he's averaging like 3.2, 3.3 yards per carry in the last few games. So big drop off. And the Rams are good. You know, it's a 6:30 game, which I'm glad I just said that so I can remember to wake up tomorrow morning. Sam Laporta will be part of that shootout, but Sam Laporta has been kind of hit or miss. But A.J. Barner against them had a great game. So there's a tight end for you that has played great. So Sam Laporta may get his touches. I think you need to put Ertz in again. I said this earlier, but for Debo, Dak's going to get his points because that's going to be a shootout. I would seriously consider swapping defenses. It's a Monday night game. You're going to have, well, there'll be a couple defenses that night, but I believe your defense, and let's see what Detroit has done the past few.
Like the defense itself?
Yeah, so
7
27
point.
points,
Yeah.
22 points, 32. So they've had good showings, but it's against bad offenses. Green Bay, they didn't do much, and Kansas City, they didn't do much. I would expect something probably Cincinnati or lower point wise. If you're good with 15 points to 10 to 15 points, keep them in. But I'd maybe try to find a higher upside team.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay. Um, the next one is
Ian and Nate.
yep, here we go. Okay, so I talked to Ian about this earlier, and I told Ian, I said, I think Nate's going to beat you. Nate, looking at his, so when I saw that Debo was out, I immediately went to go see if Luke McCaffrey was available. Didn't realize anybody had him. Nate, you have him. Have you looked at his points? So he's had, and let's go over to
Golly.
the, yeah, and let's look at, I don't know if I'm going to be able to, yeah, I'm not going to be able to toggle that over. Uh,
Averaging
so he's,
27 or so points in the last 4 weeks and only has 10 targets on the season.
yeah. And if you look at his, so this is the first year, and Jason actually said something a few weeks ago. It's the first year that I've seen the league actually pay attention to return yards. And it's kind of nice because it has brought in players that aren't normally used. But if you look, because the projection wise, he's only projected 13 points in tomorrow's game. This is McCaffrey, but he's averaged probably 20, I'd say about 28 the last 4 games with a high of 36, a low of 21. If you can get 21 from McCaffrey, so if you get 100 return yards, because Debo's not going to play, so that bumps him up to being a receiver and return yards. It's going to be a shootout. If he say he gets another 100-yard, it seems like the returns have really gone up this year,
Yeah.
and it has really put value on players. The return yards for McCaffrey, though, he had 120 last week, or 127, I think it was. So that gives you 12 points plus your 5 points bonus. There's 17 just on that. He got a touchdown, so there's 23, and then he had whatever his catches and his receiving yards. That's how you get 29 points. It's just very tricky play, sneaky play, I should say. But he's also got Malik Washington. Malik Washington's doing the same thing. Javonte Williams has been Javonte Williams all year. It's time to just expect it. Ferguson's going to be part of that shootout. Krosky Merritt has had 2 fumbles in the last 2 games, but the coaching staff has said we are not going away from him. We are going to just stick with him and stick with him. Mahomes is going to go off against the Raiders because Rice is coming back, and Rice will have over 100 yards, and he'll have over 10 catches. That's what I'm anticipating. Probably a touchdown or 2. Cleveland versus Miami. Cleveland's going to get you some points. Quentin Johnston, that's the one that kind of worries me on his side. He's got a decent floor, but I think his ceiling may be off. Although Ward was put on IR, did you see that?
Yeah.
From that concussion last week?
Knocked out when he ran into his
so
teammate.
correct. And that they put him on IR today.
That sucks.
So he's out.
Yeah.
So that might help Quentin Johnston, but then you got Baker Mayfield. Go over Ian's team.
I mean, Ian's team, he has Bo Nix in the Sutton stack, which is always, it's always on paper a good stack, but for some reason, it's not always consistent. It's not as consistent as you want. But I do like the floor for Bo Nix, and I feel like Cortland Sutton, his floor is 3 points. I mean, he's had 2 games under 22 points, and when they're under 22 points, it's either 3 or 1. So you need him to not have a floor game because that could cost him the week. Xavier Worthy, I'm not a fan of. We already know that. I've already been over that numerous amount of times. Rashee Rice coming back. Quinshawn, though. Quinshawn Judkins. Vegas has him as the number 1 rushing projection of the week. They expect him to. They have his over under of 92.5 yards.
I'm surprised it's that low.
I I'm gonna assume it's the like 50-mile-per-hour winds and rain and everything. So, um,
He's going to get 150. He'll probably get about 150 yards rushing.
oh no, I agree. Yeah, I mean he's. I would take the over on carries. I'd take the over on yards because that man is gonna just get 30 touches this game, and with 30 touches, there's no way he does not average 3 yards a carry.
Well, look at
Um,
two days. Sorry to cut you off.
you're
Two
good.
games ago, Rico Dowdle, 200 yards rushing. Yes, we saw him back it up with another almost 200 yards. But then last week against Miami, also, Vidal, he had 100, almost 130 yards, 125 yards, I think it was. So Junkins is going to. Miami just cannot stop the run. They can't, and they are going to feed him. Browns are what, 2 and something now, 2-4 now, or
Yeah,
3-3.
I think 2 and 4.
So
No, they're 1 and whatever, 1 and 6.
is it just one?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, I thought they were starting to make a comeback, but okay. Um, they're still. They need to win. It's still early. Obviously, Junkins is going to do his part tomorrow. Do you think Gabriel finishes that game, or do you think Shador comes in at some point?
I think Gabriel will finish this game. The weather's awful, so I don't think Gabriel's gonna have more than 15 passes. And when he does pass the ball, probably 50% is gonna go to the tight end, Harold Fannin, and then 25 to Judy. The other 25 to Isaiah Bond. I see this being a run game from both teams. Although you can't run on the Browns, so I expect Achane to have over 50 yards receiving, over 6 catches, and Waddle to have the same exact thing, probably a touchdown, 6 catches, 60 yards.
So the Genty, what are your thoughts on him against KC?
I don't really like Ashton Genty. I think KC is, like I said, is going to be super good. I think they're just going to blow out the Raiders. Geno Smith, he, I know I keep going back to Vegas. He is
Oh, that's
minus
good.
225, negative 225 to throw an interception. No one has ever been that favored to throw an interception. Like, it is absolutely insane. And for to have him throw 2 interceptions, the last time I checked earlier this morning, for 2 interceptions, only plus 130. So you're only gonna make $30 profit pretty much if you put $100 down on 2 interceptions. You know how insane that is. Like, he's actually just ass, just straight buns.
So Ian and I were talking about him. I think the Seattle offense catered to him, but he got it was a different offense, but he had different coordinators every year, it seemed like. So he was able to do what he needed to do there. I think getting paid, I think going back to Pete, there's not any. Well, Bowers has been out. I think Geno is better than what we're seeing,
Agreed.
but I don't think he was as good as he was performing. He couldn't get over. He wasn't going to get us over the top in Seattle. Seattle made the right choice by going to Sam Darnold. Dallas Goedert, he's not going to get over 100 yards receiving again. He might be, in the 70s or so, but he's not going to have a game like he did last week. Ian chased the points with that, I believe. Brees Hall, he should do well against Carolina, but I believe that they are getting a defensive player back and an offensive lineman back. So that's going to help with the run game. So hopefully you see that game being slow. Pittman, you made a comment last week or in the last video. I believe it was on the video, or was it before when we were talking, just the three of us?
About Josh Downs and Pittman having his first off day.
Yes.
Yeah, that was on the video.
Okay, so Ian then picks up Pittman, and he's going to start him against the Chargers. Chargers, it's tough to pass on. Let's see and I believe Khalil Mack was designated to return. I don't think he's going to return this game. but I believe he is able to return. So I should have I should have checked to see what that is going to be. But you're going to see what Daniel Jones is made of. He has shown that he's been better than we had ever seen this year, so that's a good thing. But let's see how he is when he goes up against a tough defense. And the Chargers defense, they're at home. Their defense is tougher at home. Let's see how that plays out. CJ Stroud against Seattle. Talk about it.
We're getting our whole defense back. That offensive line is not going to be able to allow him to throw. I would be surprised if we don't have 5.5. I would probably set the line at 5.5. I would be surprised if we don't have 6 sacks minimum against this offensive line that Texas has, or that the Texans have. Excuse me. But the only way they succeed is if they get one. Like, the only way that CJ Stroud succeeds is if they get one random deep ball to Nico. And if they don't get that deep ball, but Julian Love's coming back, we have Spoon coming back, Reek coming back. Yes, everyone hates on Reek because of obviously the reasons of week 1, and then against the Cardinals too, he almost messed up. But obviously we've seen a drop off in our cornerbacks when Reek is not in there. Am I saying that he's worth the 130 million that he's going to be asking for? Absolutely not, because he needs to not be as streaky, but he is better than a just normal cornerback. So
Correct.
so I don't see CJ Stroud having a good game. And it's in Seattle. Well, I don't really know if that helps us, but
Yeah. It's prime time, though, and that does.
yeah, that does help us. That stadium's going to be loud. Mariners play tomorrow night. If they win,
the Mariners win
yep.
tomorrow night.
If the Mariners win tomorrow night, Seattle is going to be loud on Monday.
Yep. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. So you talked about the offensive line of the Texans. Texans' offensive line is nowhere near Jacksonville's offensive line. Jacksonville's offensive line just gave up 33 pressures to Seattle's defense last weekend, and 7 sacks, 17 quarterback hits. So that's a lot of hits on Lawrence. Lawrence was running for his life. CJ Stroud has a worse line. Let's see. I believe we 6 or 7, I think, is what our floor is on sacks on Monday night. 6 or 7 sacks.
Yeah.
What?
You set me up, but I didn't take the opportunity.
Good. Um, and then Denver defense. I was going to say Denver D, but Denver defense against the Giants.
That'll be good.
We we've already talked about what Dart needs to do, and Denver leads. Let's get this in there for Ian. Denver leads the league with 30 sacks already. Seattle's number 2 at 20. So the Giants' offensive line looks like it's improving.
Yeah.
But Scadaboo's going to have to stay in there and protect his boy Dart. So it should be a fun matchup, but I think Nate takes this one.
I agree. I do. I agree with that.
Okay, we got 2 matchups left. And we will literally save the best for last because, that's your team.
Yep.
So we will go with mine against Dylan's. Okay, so Dylan the other night on Thursday night, started Pittsburgh defense. Going against the Bengals, anybody's going to think that was a good start. I mean, you would just assume that it was going to be a good start. He would have been better off not starting a defense in this situation, unfortunately, because of the fact that he got negative points. So that already helps me. I don't know if I'm going to win or not. Right now, I'm projected to beat Dylan with 30 points, 221 to 191. But he's got Jordan Love against Arizona. Johnson will be playing, right, for Arizona?
Yes. The cornerback?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, because he's not playing like a rookie, but he's looked good. Nico Collins, you and him just made the trade. As you can see, Seattle is a mid-tier defense to go against with receivers, and a lot of that is because of the fact that um, that Tampa Bay game, it just that skewed our stats quite a bit to put them more on a negative spotlight. But we'll see how that goes. Nico, if he can get a big play, he could get a 50-plus game or a 50-yard game, reception, touchdown, whatever, and that can automatically get you the points. Mike Evans is returning, like we said, or he's supposed to return, and that's in that shootout versus Detroit. Mike Evans, that's another one like CeeDee. Okay, do they let him ease back in because practicing and game speed a little bit different? You've got a little bit more on the line when you're out there on the game. But Mike Evans, if he's Mike Evans, he's going to do well. He'll probably get you 30 points. Kyren Williams against Jacksonville. They're tough to run against. The Jags are, but Kyren has been. It's at 6:30 in the morning. It's in London, and Kyren's. Let's see. He's got 2 games under 20, 2 under 25, and then 2 over 33. So he's averaging about 27 points or so. Gets that. That's a good day for him. Jahmyr Gibbs, I think he's going to do better with the receptions than running on Monday night. But that also depends on how Montgomery does. Trey McBride, Murray is out, and you saw Trey McBride had his best game last week with what's his name? Brissett.
Yep, Jacoby.
So, I think he's going to be solid. Mims, I don't count on much with the offense, but he's another return yard guys. Nick Chubb going against the Seattle defense. They are ranked. It shows green, but that's because against pass catching running backs. That's not against rushing running backs, if that makes sense. Because that's the thing we give up, it seems like. So Nick Chubb, I think you're going to see more of Woody Marks than you will of Nick Chubb if that game flow goes the way that I anticipate it to go. Justin Fields, who knows? Carolina's defense isn't Denver, but my goodness, last week. He may have a short leash. We don't know. But the coach said we are not going to bench him for one game. We are going to bench him. We're going to go off of his the way he plays. And, well, I don't really know what that means because he has not been playing great. He's been playing decent, but he's losing his number one receiver. So that means Justin Fields needs to have a lot of carries. Or that means their tight end, Mason, is going to have a ton of receptions or targets. Go ahead and go over mine.
All right. You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Caleb Williams, he's actually been very, very solid, especially for our format. He's been super solid. Worst game was 20 points, and after that it was 26, and it's 35 and up. He's been very, very good, and against that New Orleans pass defense, I don't see him stopping that anytime soon. I think they're going to get a big one to Rome this week. I do. Well, actually, you do have Rome too, so that leads me in. I'll go to him first. I think Rome last week could have had 35 points in a league that is normal scoring, a normal PPR league, but there was a flag, and then Caleb Williams missed him on 1-2, so that would have been 2 deep touchdowns that got called back. I see them connecting this week against that poor New Orleans defense. Brian Thomas, I see him doing well. The Rams, they could be okay. It does worry me that they're in London, but I can't really say that with what I'm going to say at the end. Bijan, nothing to say there. He's just a stud. Kamani Vidal, just Hassan Haskins is nothing. So Kamani Vidal, if he keeps that workload, it's going to be tough for him because his Indy run defense is very good. But as a pass catching back, he can get his opportunities there. Tucker Kraft, I really love Tucker Kraft as a tight end. He's top 5 for me the rest of the season. Rashad White has been a perfect fill-in piece for Bucky Irving. Once Bucky's been gone, he's had 33 and 28, and he's had 3 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks, so he stepped into that role perfectly. Now we get to K9. I'm gonna pass on K9 real quick. Go to Jaden Daniels, and Jaden Daniels, he's missing his top 3 receiving threats, possibly 4 if Zach Ertz doesn't play, but it's Jaden Daniels. If he doesn't have any receiving threats, he's going to get the job done on the ground, especially against his Dallas defense. Luke McCaffrey, if Luke McCaffrey was available, I would have picked him up. But like you said, he's not. He's already been picked up, I think, by Nate. So that's very well done by Nate. New England defense, I had them and ended up dropping them. But their schedule, these next couple weeks, they're going to have to perform with the schedule that they're going against. Tennessee, Buns just fired their head coach, and typically, actually, it's very surprising, but typically, when you fire a head coach, that next week, those boys play harder than normal just to try to make up for that interim coach. So let's see what they do there, but I do like the defense. Now, going back,
real quick on that, when they fire, I think the stat was something like, well, that's against the spread, though, isn't it?
Oh, is that against the spread? Oh, that could be. That could be.
Yes.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
I'm sure you heard it the same place I heard it, right?
I actually did not.
Okay, so I think it's against the spread.
Okay. Well, then, I mean, the spread I think is 7.5. So if that's the case, I mean, it's a low scoring game. So they're still gonna do well. That defense is. Now, first time we've talked about bench players. Tet is on your bench going up against Sauce. Sauce, the past couple weeks, has returned to normal form. I do like that you're benching him. I am going to come out on public. I wish you didn't pick up Emmanuel. When did you pick up Emmanuel Wilson? Because I went to pick him up earlier today and didn't.
This morning or this afternoon, when it was reported that Josh Jacobs may not play.
Is it true?
It's a game time decision.
Yeah. Okay, so that's when I was.
And he will go in if Jacobs doesn't play.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, that's fair. But
I don't trust.
You don't trust K9?
Waffle.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
and I'm right there with you. That's why I wanted to stick away from it. K9's obviously still dealing with that foot injury, even though it's not being reported. There's still something going on there because of how many touches Sharp's getting. I
think they're just managing. I think they're managing his load right now. They need him at the end.
I agree. Yeah.
They're not giving him the goal line rushes right now because that's where you get beat up, stepped on, pushed, whatever. So that's my opinion.
No, I do agree. But I would put in Jordan Whittington over all 3 of those names that I just mentioned. K9, Tet, and Jordan Whittington. I have no idea why, but I am going to assume that Jordan Whittington blows up in London because the Jags' pass defense is not excellent, but they're probably going to have Travis Hunter on Devontae Adams, and then opposite side of that is going to be Jordan Whittington, and if Devontae Adams draws Travis Hunter, Jordan Whittington will have a field day. And I'm going to call my shot on the video. I could be stupid. It could be the dumbest thing ever. But I would put in Jordan Whittington over all 3 of those names. Other than that, I mean, I think you have this game covered. He's out Puka, out Brock Purdy, out Ricky P. Mike Evans is a game time decision still.
I'll just say this again. Whittington, I don't know what he's going to do. Emmanuel Wilson, and I don't know why he makes me feel any better. I think it's just because he'll get the opportunities. They pulled up Pierre Strong, so he'll be on the active roster. Wow. Brooks will be on the active roster. So they have 3 with Puka and Devontae. Yep. It is what it is. I need to consider because, okay, so does Devontae stay in his role, or do they try to swap 2 positions? You know what I mean? Does Whittington step in for Puka, or do they Puka?
Devontae? But at the same time, Devontae's going to get his 8 targets, his 9 targets. I think Jordan Whittington's going to jump from 3 to 4 targets to 8 to 9. And if he catches 5 of those with a touchdown, that's 20 points. And I don't know if K9 gets that. I don't know if Tet gets that. Tet won't get that unless he
No.
scores a touchdown. And K9, he could have a long run of 40 something yards and not get the touchdown, but at least that's going to be bonus points.
So I will say this: Ibuka is a game time decision, but I will not be playing him
Yeah.
because it, he could come in and get 2 catches, 2 targets, and not do anything with them.
Absolutely. As an Ibuka
And
owner, do you hope that he gets held out?
yes,
Yeah.
I hope he gets held out until week 10.
Yeah. After their bye week next week, or after their bye
Yep.
week 9. Yeah.
Yes,
No, I agree.
like they're doing with Bucky.
Yep. I'm perfectly fine with them holding Bucky out because I want him healthy. In the championship week, obviously I know you're not definitely going to make the championship, but if I do make the championship, Bucky has Miami.
Oh my God!
Yep.
Maybe he'll be with his sister picking flowers that day, and I can play Rashad White. Okay.
All right.
I
But
will
yeah, I have you
never.
taking that one.
Well, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so I think
Oh,
that's it.
I'm
We
going
got we got
against
every
Devontae.
match. Yep. So that was a good video. So we have one more, and you go over Mark's, and if you want, I can go over yours, or I can go over Mark's, and you go over yours.
You can go over mine. So I'll go over Mark's real quick. Jared Goff, he's gonna destroy me. He's putting up at least 50 points, and I say that with okay. I say with 100% certainty that he puts up over 40. Let's see what his track record's
He
been.
has
Jared,
not gone
oh
over.
wow,
Well, he's got 70, but everything is 28 or less.
that's actually super surprising. But I do. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna go back on what I said. I think that this is gonna be a shootout, so I see him putting up over 40. Hopefully, I don't get a ceiling game at 70. That would be really unfortunate. But AJ Brown, Buns, Devonte Adams, he's gonna do very well. But I think Jacksonville pulls off the upset, and I think Jacksonville wins this game.
I hope so.
I do too. Saquon, man, he is not the Saquon of last year, but I'm not gonna talk bad about him because I know if I do, he's gonna blow up. So I see
Wow.
Saquon
Look at his points. That surprises me.
31 at a high.
Yeah.
There's been only one explosive play. That 31-point game where he had 6 carries, that is due to the fact he had over a 40-yard reception for a touchdown. That's the only reason. Other than that, he has not had an over 40-yard bonus point play this whole season, which means he's going to have 3 tomorrow. Josh Jacobs, oh my goodness. I win this matchup if Josh Jacobs does not play. I'll say that right now. If Josh Jacobs doesn't play, I'm going to win this matchup. Travis Kelsey, I don't know. I don't
I think he
think
plays better with Rice.
I think the opposite because Rice is going to be that intermediate slant guy and just go crazy. I think Rice puts up 7 catches, 120 yards and a touchdown. And
You just don't. You just don't want to say 10.
correct. I don't want to say 10. I don't want to say 10 catches. But yes, I think Rice has a fantastic game to make up for AJ Brown's poor performance that I'm expecting. Kendrick Bourne, he's gonna get Mac Jones. I believe. Yeah, he's gonna
Yes.
get Mac Jones, so that's good for him. He needs Mac Jones over Brock just because of their connection from New England as well. Matthew Stafford, I'm not really thinking he's going to do great unless he gets one of those deep bonus points. I think it's going to be more of a receiver type of game. So like Jordan Whittington, Devontae Adams, I feel like they're going to do well, but I don't think Stafford's going to get a bonus point touchdown. I don't think Stafford's going to throw for 350 yards. I think it'll be the receivers doing exactly what you need them to, and then Stafford just having an average 25, 30-point game. And then the Rams defense, he's got a lot of Rams. I mean, he is a Rams fan, so good for him. But I don't think that I don't. I think Jacksonville takes his game, so I don't know how that defense is going to do.
He Bourne though. What you do need to consider Kittle coming back, and Shanahan said he will not be on a count.
Correct.
And if you're saying that about Kittle, so. And is Juwan Jennings coming back?
I don't think so.
Okay, so Bourne and him, could help each other. You may not see another 140-yard receiving game, but Josh Jacobs really does determine this, and another player is A.J. Brown, who him and Hurts just do not look like they're on the same page right now.
No,
Hurts just does not look good on that deep pass. And Brown, I don't know if Minnesota plays more man or plays more zone. I think they play more zone. And if they do, then that will hurt A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown is much better. Well, he's much better because of Hurts when it's on man. Because Hurts will trust him more and throw more. Let's go to your side. Well, let's look real quick. Let's look at his bench players, because if
Juwan Jennings is playing, by the way, so I was wrong.
Okay. So that might hurt him also. But he doesn't have another running back, does he?
No.
Yeah, he's going to have to pick up a running back to fill that Jacobs spot if Jacobs doesn't play.
He's Kareem Hunt, who's the red zone back.
Oh, you probably just slide him in.
Thankfully, though, he benched Aaron Rodgers, who had 47 points.
Yes.
Yes, for me. The only thing I don't like about my matchups, which I know you're getting into, is the weather for my matchups. But go ahead.
Okay, so Drake May. He has been, I think it's top 3 passer the last, I want to say it's 4 or 5 weeks. He doesn't care. He's kind of like what Mahomes has done, and I'm not comparing him to Mahomes or Rodgers, but they seem to have elevated the receivers that they have, and that's what it seems like Drake May has done. I will say I picked up how do you say it? Booty?
Yeah.
I picked him up and saw a clip. I didn't realize he was the receiver who was suspended for betting on games.
Yep.
So no wonder it has taken him a little bit to get back into the flow of things. And those were betting all the way back to his LSU days too.
Yep.
So that story kind of surprised me. Jackson Smith and Jigba.
7,000 of them.
7,000 bets?
Yeah.
Holy crap! I didn't see that part in it.
That's
it just
what I
said
saw.
How long? Okay, wow.
Yeah.
So JSN briefly discussed it when we were talking about Sean's matchup. I do not want to see Darnold force it to JSN. I've talked to you. I've talked to Ian about it. He needs to get other receivers involved unless JSN is matchup proof. And we're going to find out. But if you look at what was the stat I sent you, his passer rating while throwing to him is like 113. And Stingley's passer rating against is like 56 or 52.
Yep.
So one of those two are, you may see JSN have a better game than what 52% is, but you probably won't see 113 passer rating against unless he moves around, they put him in motion, and you get someone else on him. Jalen Waddle. That is the win game that we were talking about with Miami and Cleveland. Jalen Waddle, you said you see him getting 6 receptions. And then you also mentioned Etienne getting about 6 or 7. That I don't see both of those guys getting a good game, having a great game. I see Etienne having a better one, and I think Waller may have a game on this one. Waddle, I don't know how the player that Jacksonville traded to Cleveland did last week. I do know that The cornerback that Cleveland had got beat last year. The first play he comes in, or last week, first play he came in against, JSN went and got a touchdown over him. So, but I do not remember how Jacksonville's player that went to Cleveland did.
Greg
so
Newsome?
that is, yes. Is
He
that
did
who
okay.
went? Is that who went to Cleveland?
No, that's who went. Oh, yeah, sorry. No, that's who they
Yeah,
traded, who was their top cornerback.
correct. So if the weather, let's see right now, what is it? It's supposed to be rain, and what is it? 50 degrees and there's
21 mile
50%
per hour
chance.
winds.
So 21 miles per hour. That's not too bad. They're going to test Tua's arm though to see how he can throw. I just don't see both the guys having a good game against Cleveland. Cleveland defense is tough, like you said earlier. Jonathan Taylor, like you said, with Bijan in mind, he's just going to Jonathan Taylor it. So he is going to go off. I think he's matchup proof, unless they do get Mac back and they rattle Jones, Indiana Jones, a little bit. Jonathan Taylor should have his well over 100 yards and 35, 40 points. Fannin, I was pissed. I wanted to get him. I wanted to pick him up off waivers. You screwed me over and said another player was your top waiver claim, and thinking that I would, and I did. I bit.
My apologies.
Yes, I overthought it and should have just whatever. I knew you'd
Brees
do
Hall
something
and
like
Ladd.
that. But Fannin, I think,
I don't like
because there's
DJ's
no
hammy.
Njoku. I think Fannin can take this tight end spot and keep it. They need to see what they have. They had a great draft, and I think they need to see what they're going to have. Rico Dowdle.
I like that trade for you, actually.
Their coach came out
Especially with your wide
and
receiver
said
room. I like
he
that.
knows who's going to start. He knows who's going to get the touches, but Chuba is returning. I just don't think you can take Rico. Hubbard might get the start, quote unquote start, but I don't think he's going to get the touches that are going to matter, especially if Rico gets a hot hand and for some reason the Jets get ahead. I just
Yeah.
don't. I don't think you can take it out of his hand.
I don't
Justin Jefferson. This one pissed me off too because I was trying to trade Dylan for him, couldn't get a deal done. But I think he goes off against Philly as long as Wentz can stay upright and doesn't do anything stupid. Wentz, we've seen him Wentz, and of course you're going against Wentz, or you have Wentz, and you've got Justin Jefferson. So if they hit, going to hit big. And then the Carolina defense, they showed up against Atlanta, and then Atlanta does what they did last week. The Jets, Carolina's defense is definitely not Denver's defense, but it is. They've got some solid players. They've got some solid run defenders. You just can't let Fields have a field day of running the ball. He's not going to pass much. So
Yeah,
that's a great
because they have
one
no
for
Garrett
you.
Wilson. That's the only reason I picked him up. That's because
208 to
BTJ
204.
has the highest value, in my
there's
opinion.
some weather
But with
questions
your
with
wide
you, like
receiver
you
room,
said. You did
I'd
mention
rather
that.
yours.
If Josh Jacobs does not play, I give you this win. Because Kendrick Bourne, I think he's going to be the third target. He may be the second target, but he's definitely not going to be the first. I will say that you will stay hot. You will beat Mark, but I think it will be closer than you anticipate. You're actually starting a defense from the get-go this time and not waiting.
I
So
don't
you
think
can
I
hit
blow him
40
out.
50 points. I don't think you blow him out, but I think it will be a good matchup. But I don't see AJ Brown making a big difference. If Jared Goff goes for 40, that could change. If Josh Jacobs plays and runs great against Arizona, I'll go with you by about a 15-point lead.
Thank you. I mean, I just need Wentz to perform, because if Wentz performs, that trade for JJ is phenomenal. And then I traded for Tua strictly because of his schedule after his bye, so week 13 on. But yeah, no, I mean, I think it's gonna be a close. I think it's gonna be the closest matchup I've had so far this year. Because I don't think my team's gonna score all those big play points that they normally do.
It's it should be a fun. I've noticed the scoring has been down this year, except for one team in our league. But it's been a fun year so far, and I enjoy doing these videos. Sorry,
I
Ian,
did
that you
too.
couldn't jump on with us. That was my screw up when we were talking earlier. I meant to say something, forgot to, but we did try calling and you didn't answer and you didn't call back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good luck
Okay.
to everyone tomorrow besides Mark.
And also, if everybody watches this to the end, I want to say good luck to Landon tomorrow. His boys have a game in the morning, and then at 12:40. So does it not matter what you do in the early game? You're
Correct.
playing at 12:40 no matter what.
Yeah.
Okay, so at 12:40, good luck tomorrow. Bring home that win.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I've got reasons that I don't want you to win, but whatever.
Yes. No, I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Good